I'm not even gonna lie, there have been multiple times where I felt ugly in my natural hair. I've definitely felt masculine, and I believe, now I'm not saying I know, but I believe a lot of that feeling came from my features. Now, we all know as black people, we have features that may not be appreciated in our community or even outside of our community. Whatever the situation is, just know that your job is to know that you are that, or in other words, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever you use to describe yourself. You are that, regardless of what anybody thinks. Just a reminder. Now that I'm older, though, I've grown into my features. I still get negative thoughts sometimes. Not because I'm ugly, I know I'm not, but because there's more going on beneath the surface. We need to analyze the root problem, because half the time, it really just has everything to do with what we're absorbing from the world, which is resulting in why you feel the way you feel about yourself, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Over time, though, I've learned to love my features. I've grown into them. They turn out pretty decent, I guess. Now, we all know we're living in a world of social media, movies, and music. Representation isn't always accurate for black women. Sometimes we do see ourselves reflected, but it's not pushed the way it should be. And that plays a huge role in how we feel about ourselves because, we like to escape, watch things that make us feel better after a long, rough day. I get it. I do it. But of course, lately I've been seeing a lot of conversations about black women and natural hair, and I wanted to speak on it because I've had my own moments with it too. Whether that was me not liking how I looked in my natural hair, not liking my natural hair in general, or whatever it has to do with hair, I had to ask myself, why do I feel this way? And honestly, I think it comes down to this. God already told us in the last days that, and mind you, this is key, so don't let it slip your ears, but people will be lovers of themselves. 2 Timothy 3, 1-2, lovers of other things as well. I'm posting the scripture now, but for this specific video, let's hit the point of lovers of themselves. When you look around on social media, you can literally see it. Emphasis on social media, though, because social media is like one of the most popular things in the world as we speak. A lot of eyes are on there, and a lot of people are being deceived as of right now. There's so much focus on appearance, face cards, always looking your best, always keeping up, and if you don't, the world will label you quick. Even when nobody asks, people will give their opinion, and sometimes it's straight up cruel. So now you got all this noise, all these opinions, all these images of what's beautiful and what's not, and without even realizing it, you start absorbing it. Because let's be real, we scroll, and when we scroll, we soak things up, and even if it's just for a few seconds, your mind catches it. So then you look in the mirror one day and think, dang, I don't look good. But it's like, what have you been looking at? What have you been feeding your mind? Because there's nothing wrong with seeing beautiful women online, watching people live, having fun, enjoying themselves. But what about you? Because if the people you're watching, and I mean you're watching it like your life depends on it, like day after day, consistently, if they aren't giving anything for your spiritual health, and mind you, let me add this, everything isn't always intentionally demonic or evil. But your adversary, the enemy, will use anything in a way he sees fit to blind you, especially if you haven't been reading your word, renewing your mind daily. But he can only blind you if you don't know the truth, which is why it's important to have your eyes on truth more than on the things we watch willy-nilly because we're bored or whatever the reason. Always remember you are spirit before you are flesh, and spirit has to grow where spirit is welcome. And social media ain't always the best place to grow your spirit, but walking with God daily, it's a process, might I add, He will really finish the work He started in you. And as I've been spending more time with Him, feeding my mind with His truth instead of the world, those thoughts, in fact, started to fall off. Not because I'm perfect, though, not because I'm holier than thou, but because my focus changed. So honestly, when it comes down to feeling insecure about your natural hair, your face, or your body, a lot of it has just to do with the result of what you've been absorbing. That's it. That's literally it. So the solution? Focus on the Lord.